All right, it is time for another Ask the Expert, and we are here in Homer, Illinois at Roxy's house with Roxy Reed, a speech-language pathologist. Roxy, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. We love talking with you and getting your insight on some of our viewer questions that fit right into your expertise. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Bree Smith wrote that it may be helpful to talk about how SLP, speech-language pathologists, can help with total communication, not just verbal.
I love that question. I love it because that is what we do. Communication is not just speaking and talking. There are so many ways we communicate. So when you're here in therapy or when you're with any really speech pathologist in a therapy session, we're going to focus on the fastest and easiest way to get you to communicate your basic wants and needs and thoughts and ideas. Sometimes that's talking. Sometimes it's using a communication device, which we call an AAC device, augmentative and alternative communication. It's more of a speech generator.
Is that kind of like those tablets that I see some folks using where they tap on a picture and it says a word out loud that they're trying to communicate?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Awesome.
So a lot of kids will call it their talker. Sometimes you're using an iPad, sometimes with a program on it. Sometimes it's a specific device made for communicating. But yeah, they can form full sentences, thoughts and ideas, feelings even. That's one way that we address something other than talking for communication. We also use sign language. We teach signs, we teach gestures, really body language, and that's where the animals come into play here because the animals are communicating always, but not with words.
And I think it's important to remind folks that specifically you work out of a therapy barn, which is where we're standing right now, and animals is a huge part of your process, which is different than a lot of the traditional, more kind of indoor clinical processes that people are used to. Well, let's move on to the next question. This is from Sherry Gee. How do you get the parents to understand that there is a delay and not to take it personally when their child isn't making sounds or speaking when it is expected?
Well, if that question means what are you looking for to know that there's a delay? So we really want kids to be, 1 year they're speaking in one word utterances, by 2 years they're combining. We hope to be mommy keys, daddy bye-bye, that kind of thing. So we would like to see some combination. In autistic children, we're looking for different things. So you're also want to make sure that your children are making eye contact, so they're kind of social referencing with you. If something's surprising, oh, they look at mom and see, did you see that? That they're kind of checking in. If children are repeating a lot, that might be a sign of that. Or sometimes autistic children are really good at numbers and letters, and we don't want to take that away as a fabulous strength because it is a very good strength, but maybe they're able to say the alphabet and recognize letters, but not necessarily tell you functionally, I would like some milk. I'm upset right now. I have to use the restroom. So they're not using their communication in a functional sort of way. So those are things to look for when you think there might be a delay. When it comes to making sure parents get it and getting frustrated with parents who aren't necessarily seeing that their child might need help, I always try to keep in mind that there's always a grieving process with families. So we all have a dream for our children, and you may feel like as if they're not really ready to accept that yet. There might be some denial, there's sadness, there's anger, there's lots of stages like that. So we need to allow parents to move through those stages until they're ready to maybe accept some help, and not to get frustrated with them. They're also going through things. Hopefully this is changing now as we become a more neurodivergent, accepting world. 1 in 38 children babies are going to be diagnosed with autism. So, and they are currently now, that's what's happening. So our world is kind of moving towards accepting those behaviors and accepting that communication style as just part of our society.
Well, I just love your approach to, like, let's look at the strengths that they have, and let's not take those away, and then let's work on the weaknesses. Let's make them stronger in the areas where they need some help. And isn't that for everybody what everybody needs in every part of life?
We're all the same that way. You know, we all, that's what I feel like every child that comes here, whether you are officially diagnosed with a delay or a disorder, or you're what we might consider a typically developing child, child. We all have issues. We all have things that we're working on, and but we all have amazing strengths too.
That is incredible. Roxy, thank you so much for having us, for answering these questions. If you want to get connected with Roxy and visit Roxy's house, the amazing therapy barn here in Homer, Illinois, we're going to have all of those details up on our website and connect you there. Make sure to check them out after today's show.